Teffi, two diaries. How interesting people's documents can be. I'm not talking about identity cards or passports or visas, though. What I have in mind are documents which bear witness to a man's secret, inner life. Documents like a diary, kept for oneself alone and carefully hidden away from others' peering eyes. Letters can never give reliable evidence about human personality because they are written for a definite purpose or goal. One has to, let's say, appeal to a benefactor, or put a moocher in his place, or express sympathy, always heartfelt. Like congratulations, all of these occasions call for exaggerated tones. And then there are the refined letters, the literary ones, the flirtatious letters. What kinds aren't there? And they are all calculated for effect. A secret diary is another matter. Here, almost everything is truthful and sincere. It's not intended for circulation, just the opposite. Circulation is what we fear the most. Can we possibly consider Tolstoy's diaries trustworthy documents when we know what Sofia Andreevna asked him to downplay and delete? A secret diary rarely falls into strange hands. I was just lucky. I was so lucky it's hard to believe. In my hands, I have not one diary, but two. They belong to the Kashinevs, Pyotr Yevdokimych and Maria Nikolaevna, who both kept diaries during the very same period of time, probably the most vivid period of their married life. And now, when you compare their interests day by day, you get such a vivid picture that you just want to scream, "The devil take it! You silly fool! Where are your eyes?" You want to scream a lot more besides, but there is little sense in such belated exclamations. So you don't. I now offer up to the reader's attention both diaries, selected according to dates. I'm not quoting all of the entries, of course. I've taken the liberty of omitting September the 5th. I bought a white collar on sale for 30 francs in Maison de Blanc. It turned out to be a bad buy. The collar is big enough for a cow. That's from Maria Nikolaevna's diary. And from Pyotr Yevdokimich's. October the 2nd, I got another blister on my crooked toe. There are many entries of this ilk, ones which do not constitute a link in the general chain, and which I deliberately omit. Well then, from the diary of Maria Nikolaevna Kashineva. November the 1st. I don't think I will ever forget last night, and no one who saw me will forget it either. I've never been so pretty and so lovely. My eyes sparkle like diamonds. I was wearing a green dress which set off the marble of my shoulders and the alabaster of my back. My husband, that hypocrite, was angry, of course. He was jealous that he couldn't reveal his shoulders too. Wouldn't that have been a sight? Sergei couldn't take his mad eyes off me. But I flirted with that idiot Goshkin to divert the hypocrite's suspicion. I was amazingly pretty, like a bachante. I ran up to the piano and sang, "I love you and long for your caresses." I sang marvelously. The best evidence was that Petrova and Kuzhina left in a huff, while my hypocrite squinted his furious eyes at me. Sergei Zapakin was pale as a sheet. Petrova and Kuzhina were angry, I suppose. Poor dears, it's hard to compete with me. And besides, Kuzhina had stuffed herself into a turquoise kaftan. What a fool! The hypocrite made a scene, of course, but I just laughed.
From the diary of Pyotr Yevdokimovich Kashinov, November 1st. A scandal to end all scandals. My fool of a wife suddenly began to sing. It was such a disgrace. I'll be embarrassed to remember it for as long as I live. Married 17 years and never thought she had such an awful voice. And on top of that, she accompanied herself obscenely out of tune. I was so ashamed. I just didn't know what to do, where to cast my eyes. That dear boy, Sergei Zapotkin, suffered terribly with me, but Gorshkin, obviously all this was done for his benefit, thanked her for the pleasure afforded in the most impudent way. What a horror it was. Petrova and Kushina, females of God knows what reputation, even they couldn't stand it. They jumped and fled. We've lived together for 17 years. We've often had to deal with every kind of calamity, but that she began to sing in her 18th year, that I just could not foresee. Could not foresee it at all. It simply boggles my mind. After the guest left, we had a disgraceful scene. She laughed insolently, and I, as a sufferer, shouted. I even broke the milk jar.
November the 6th. Tomorrow is my birthday. I told Sergei about it. We must be together on such a joyful day. For some reason, Sergei fell to thinking. I invited Gorshkin for tomorrow too, so that the hypocrite won't begin to suspect anything.
November 6th. What good people there still are in the world. Yesterday, Sergei Zapotkin was very preoccupied for some reason. I asked him about it, and then the poor boy, with tears in his eyes, confessed that he has an old mother living in Belgium and he supports her as best he can. Right now, he needs to send her 200 francs, but he doesn't have such a sum at his disposal, and he's tormented terribly by it. Of course, I immediately offered the small sum. It was touching to see his gratitude.
November the 8th. Sergei called yesterday morning. I wanted to be the first to congratulate you. Please forgive my modest gift. I sent you some chrysanthemums. Within an hour, a huge basket of marvelous golden chrysanthemums was delivered to me. A basket like that must have cost 200 francs. The hypocrite goes and gropes around the basket, searching for the card. Then he says, "No matter, I know this is from Gorshkin. Your wiles won't save him. I'll kick his right down the stairs today."
November 8th. Composure, composure, composure. I'll track down Gorshkin and finish him off.
November 20th. I said to Sergei, "This duplicity has exhausted me. I want to be with you in your embraces, inseparably, for all my life, for all eternity." Eternity? He repeated. Why are you so depressed? Let's go to Saint-Germain for a couple of days. Think something up. I told the hypocrite that Lisa Hryabina had invited me to visit her in St. Cloud. She doesn't have a telephone, so it's impossible to check up on me, and there is no chance he will pop up there, since he really cannot stand Lisa.
November 20. Sergei Zapotkin was here today. He came to sit in my study. He was very preoccupied again. I immediately understood what was wrong. "What?" I say. "Your dear old mother is giving you trouble again?" He blushed a little. "Why?" he says. "Do you?" But I brought him to reason. Why hide that from me? He had no idea what to answer, so I put it to him frankly. "You probably need money for your mother." Sergei was so touched by my shrewdness, he even began to laugh. I loaned him 400. Such a man is rare in our times. November 21st. My fool wife has expressed a desire to go visit another fool in St. Cloud. Can't you just see it? They go crazy when they don't see each other, and their nerves run wild. We know those nerves. I said to her in the most innocent voice, "Go, my dear, and I'll ask Gorshkin to come breakfast and dine with me. Otherwise, I'll be lonely and all alone." In answer to that, she burst into the most unnatural laughter, and it was this laughter that gave her away. She wanted to hide her vexation, but instead she only emphasized it by the unnaturalness of her behavior. Now, let her sit in St. Cloud. I'm certainly not going to rush her. In fact, I might advise her to stay a little longer. Ha ha.
February 2nd. How strangely my hypocrite is acting. He has some kind of a sick love for Gorshkin. He literally is never separated from him. I hardly even catch sight of Gorshkin when he comes to visit before my husband drags him into his study, either to smoke or to play chess. On the other hand, he tries in every way to keep Sergei in my presence. He asks him to accompany me to the theater, the movies, even visiting. All of this is very strange. Maybe he's thinking of catching us by surprise. Not long ago, he went to Rian for 2 days and took Gorshkin with him. "You have never been there," he said. "You are a young man, you have to develop." And he took him alone. This is becoming downright indecent. Naturally, Gorshkin is glad for the free ride.
February 2nd. Sergei Zapotkin is a dear fellow, but I'm finding his old lady a bit of a bore. I'm beginning to get tired of her. Either she has to get something for a holiday, or she needs a winter coat, or she has to go to the doctor. And somehow it's already becoming commonplace that I help out. But still, from his point of view, it's touching. That dried-up Gorshkin probably doesn't even think about old women. And Sergei Zapotkin thinks about nothing but his dear old mother, a rare young man.
June 20th. Wishy. I really don't know how to explain this. Sergei doesn't answer my letters. He promised to come, but he is still not here. My hypocrite has become totally unhinged. In the spring, he went with his Gorshkin to Corsica. Now he's sitting with him in Paris, and he doesn't answer my letters either. I'm really going out of my mind. But what's the matter with Sergei?
June 25th. How repulsive this idiot Gorshkin's face has become to me. Every day he dines with me and stays all evening. But it's impossible to let him go. He'll make for Vichy right away. He's gotten fat as a hog on free food, and he snores in my armchair. He's flooded with lard. What does she ever see in him? June 26th. An event. Zapotkin came over, terribly upset. It turns out that his old mother has to have an operation, and right away. And he talked with tears flooded his eyes and his lips quivered. "This," he says, "is the last time I'll come running to you for help. In 2 weeks, I'm going to marry a very wealthy lady, but it's still a secret." Well, I congratulated him and gave him money for the operation. "Right," I said, "and tell me how she bears up and whether she suffers a lot." He promised to.
June 28th. My God, what I lived through. Yesterday Sergei finally came. It's all over. He's getting married.
July 1st. I received a telegram from Zapotkin. She bore up well, didn't suffer badly, died forever. Strange telegram. I wonder whether I'll have to send money for the funeral. July 2nd. Aha! A telegram from my dear wife. In a terrible state. If you yourself can't come, send Gorshkin. Aha! Just as I thought. She finally cried out, the low-down woman. Let her have Gorshkin. Now she and I are going to have our talk. I'm leaving on the evening train.
I just left.
From the diary of Pyotr Yevdokimich Koshchenev. November 1st.